Hello, everybody, and welcome to PaizoCon 2022 and our Paizo organized play What's New in 22 panel. I am coming to you live from PaizoCon at the Doubletree Hotel in Seattle, Washington. My name is Alex Spidel. I am Paizo's organized play coordinator, and I am here with three of my friends who I will have introduce themselves in just a moment to talk to you about what's coming up for Paizo Organized Play in 2022, our Pathfinder and Starfinder Society programs, as well as some other fun products. We have a ton of stuff to talk to today. We have a ton of news to share with you. We're going to talk as quickly but also intelligibly as we can. Hello to our friends in chat. Thank you all for coming, but I want to start by asking my friends to introduce themselves to you, for those of you who might not know them. So I will start with my friend Linda. Linda, how are you doing today at PaizoCon?
Hi, I'm doing well. I am also here physically at PaizoCon. It's great to be here and seeing fans in person for the first time in years. We all exist in real life. It's great. So I am Linda Zeiss Palmer, the development manager for Digital Adventures, which is organized play as well as other digital products like bounties.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Linda. It's so good to see you in person. The next friend that I have with me, Jessica Catalan, joining us from Paizo North. Jessica, how is PaizoCon online for you?
It's good. I'm happy to be here. My name is Jessica Catalan, and I am the Starfinder Society developer, which means that I'm in charge of our Starfinder and Starfinder Society Scenarios and Starfinder Bounties.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me. And last but certainly not least, Mike Kimmel also joining us here for his first convention as a Paizo blue shirt. Mike, how are you enjoying PaizoCon so far?
It's been wonderful so far. Thank you. It's good to see people and people I've been working with for a year and a half who I haven't necessarily met yet. It's wonderful to hang out with everyone. But yes, I'm Mike Kimmel, Pathfinder Society developer. So if you have perished recently in a Pathfinder Society scenario, I'm at least partially to blame for that.
Yeah, there was a near TPK going on in the org playroom last night. And I had to tell Mike not to go too close to the table. I was a little bit concerned.
You're in
But
danger.
anyway, like I said, we have a ton of information to get to you, including the first ever public reveal of the Pathfinder Society Year 4 title and theme and metaplot. But before we do that, we have a bunch of other stuff to talk about. We're going to make you wait till the end for that, because that's how marketing works. And I'm actually going to start off with a couple of pieces of news from my end and the convention. So I'm going to go off script, which I know that our tech team loves. Part of my job is coordinating our major convention presence. Obviously, the OP room here at PaizoCon has been the focus of my life for the past month. After this, the next convention that we're working on is Gen Con. We put out a call for Gen Con Indie GMs a couple months ago, but we just last week announced that we are now accepting GMs for Gen Con Online. It will be happening at the same time as Gen Con Indie. Information on that will be found in the blog that will go up next week. But it's also available right now in the Gen Con channels on the Paizo Events Discord server. So you can join us at paizo.events. Also, brand new announcement, never before said, this is my fun little piece of information that I get to share, is that this year, after Gen Con, the next convention that I will be working on will be PaizoCon Europe, which will return in 2022 for all of our European friends across the pond. You will get your very own European focused convention. There will be a small in-person component in Switzerland that you can attend if you are in Switzerland or would like to travel to Switzerland to join them. And then there will be a much larger online component focused on the European time zones. So you will finally get to tell the Americans, as always, that no, you won't do overnight slots for us. It will be, I'm checking the dates, which I definitely should have written down. It will be, I believe, August 18 through 21, 2022. GM recruitment will start in the blog that will get posted next week with more details. But this will also be the first chance for our European players to play the launch of Pathfinder Society Year 4. You will be getting the new Year 4 scenarios out there as well. So PaizoCon Europe 2022, August of 2022. Can't wait to see you all there virtually. So those are my fun announcements, and now I want to talk to my good friend and partner in crime, Jessica Catalan, about Starfinder Society Year 5, which launched yesterday, I guess, here at PaizoCon. Jessica, tell us about the year of Redemption's Rise, sort of how we got here and the kind of stories that we're telling in Starfinder Society this year.
Yeah, so we have some art for this if you want to throw it up.
Absolutely.
At the culmination of the Data Scourge, the Starfinder Society thwarted Historia Prime, but that was far from the end of their problems. Historia Prime's crimes had come to light publicly, which weighs very heavily on the hearts of both Starfinder agents and the citizens of the Pact Worlds who were harmed by the Data Scourge. This brought to mind another treacherous Starfinder, an unidentified elven agent who helped Datch in her character assassination against the Starfinder Society the year before. And throughout both these instances, Guidance, the Starfinder Society's amalgamation AI, was unable or perhaps unwilling to assist the Starfinder agents involved. So in the direct aftermath of the Year of the Data Scourge, morale is low, and many agents aren't sure who they can trust, which leads to some isolation along faction lines. So sparked by a loss of faith in Guidance and life in a world consistently harmed by technological tragedies, there's an anti-technological movement that spreads through the Starfinder ranks, and this causes even further divisions, particularly between its members and the data files. So faced with this shattering society before him, First Seeker Ehu Hadith embarks on a year of change. He opens the floor to all agents. He gives them a platform to voice their concerns and plans and ambitions and to lobby for change. New factions are founded, which is our Advocates and our Cognates factions. Minor factions, including them and the Manifold Host, are given a voice when they would normally be overshadowed. There are some reforms enacted, and relationships are kind of beginning to mend. So the Year of Redemption's Rise begins amid this change. So at the launch of Redemption's Rise, the Starfinder Society is struggling, but they are also determined to make a change for the better. That's positive change for the organization, for their members, and also for the galactic community that they belong to. This is not a season about agents fighting one another. It's a season about coming together to make a positive change despite our differences and challenges. It's a year to reunite the Starfinder Society and build a better society for the future. But of course, our plans for a brighter tomorrow aren't without opposition. Our Starfinders this year are going to face off against opportunistic criminals, internal corruption, and uncover clues regarding a secretive criminal organization with a centuries-old connection to the Starfinder Society. So this change and the opposition to change is what our season's metaplot focuses on. So, launching right now here at PaizoCon and PaizoCon Online, we have 3 scenarios for the Year of Redemption's Rise. Number 5.1, Year of Redemption's Rise, is an introduction for levels 1 to 4 by Alex Bendel. During this scenario, First Seeker... I know, me too. First Seeker Ehu tasked the team of Starfinders with assisting 3 minor factions he believes are integral to the future of the Starfinder Society. This is the Advocates, the Cognates, and the Manifold Host. So you get to welcome some new recruits to the Starfinder Society on behalf of Harmony of Many. And the Manifold Host, you get to destroy some lingering fragments of the Data Scourge on behalf of Royo and the Cognates. And you get to clear out a long-abandoned wing of the Lorespire complex for Ziggy and the Advocates. All this on the backdrop of our Year of Redemption's Rise. Our second scenario is Road to Reconciliation. This is an adventure for levels 3 to 6 by Shay Snow. And this one is close to my heart. I'm really happy that Shay agreed to write it for me. So the Starfinders have discovered a relic of dubious provenance in their collection, which further investigation reveals has been stolen by a famous long-deceased Starfinder of the past. And rather than bury the truth this year, Salida and Fitch dispatch a team of Starfinders to Kidel, which is the area of the sun on Verxes, to return the relic to the Strix, from whom it was stolen, and to offer the Society's heartfelt apologies. But earning the acknowledgement of those who we have wronged takes a lot more than pretty words and the return of a pretty bauble. So forgiveness is a little trickier to come by, and this is a scenario that's about Starfinders taking the first step to a more honest future, but not the last step. And the third, a very exciting one, 5.3, Combatants Concerto. This is Fugue of the Traitor. This is an adventure for levels 7 to 10 by Alison Saib. It is a continuation of the Combatants Concerto storyline, which is 3.11 Into the Vescarium and 4.6 Combatants Concerto Prelude to Revolution. This is also our first scenario to feature mech combat, which is very exciting. In it, the Society travels to Vesk 6 to meet with Miu. This is a Patra pop star and leader of the Polonus Liberation Front. Mio asks the Starfinders to help her identify a murderous double agent she suspects is hiding among her inner circle. But to get to Starfinders close without tipping off that traitor, Mio has planned this mission to coincide with a second mission. The PLF is attempting to secure an old military bunker as their new base of operations, so Mio's called on the Starfinders to help. Unfortunately, helping a bunch of rebels is not really Vesperium approved. So to avoid the attention of the Vesperium, the Starfinders also need to juggle a public-facing mission, which is to investigate the mysterious Shriek. This is a really fun scenario with a great cast of characters and some of my favorite art for our early scenarios. So I look forward to seeing how it plays out.
Awesome! Wow, that is a ton, and I'm super excited about the start of this year. Not least of which because I wrote the intro. It's fine, but actually, if we can see the second image, I would love to ask you a little bit about the 3 new factions, Jessica, both in terms of like who they are very briefly, but also kind of what what ideas and what kind of inspiration you took when you decided you wanted to create these new factions.
Yeah, so we have 3 factions. The first, 2 of them are new, and the third one has been existing for a while. So the existing one is the Manifold Host. Manifold Host is a faction that is about bringing all kinds of people from different species into the society, because every species brings something totally new and different experiences and different perspectives, and all together that can make the society stronger and a better, tighter community. So that's the Manifold Host, and it is led by Harmony of Many. We have also 2 new factions. One of them is the Cognates. The Cognates are very much born out of the end of the Data Scourge. If you've played some of our final seasons of that year, you have already seen the start of this faction with Royo. And they are a faction who believes that the Starfinder Society is very over-reliant on technology. And we have all kinds of other methods of achieving our goals, but we always fall back on technology, and sometimes it bites us in the butt. So maybe we should spend some time like recalibrating a little bit and put in some more resources into our Starfinders who do other types of things. Let's focus on magical solutions, analog solutions, all kinds of other things that we can kind of recalibrate onto. So it is about all of these different disciplines coming together to form a more secure foundation for the society, which in the immediate future is less technology, please. Let's maybe flatten that out a bit. And then the last one, that's led by Royal. And then our last new faction is the Advocates, and this is led by Ziggy, who is absolutely wonderful. And Ziggy has come out of their recent convalescence, and just seeing all of their fellow Starfinders just like fracturing along faction lines and all this infighting and this suspicion and everything just breaks poor Ziggy's heart. So they found a faction all about making everybody come together, and we'll all be great buddies. It'll be fun. And also, it's about bringing support. It is about advocating for all the Starfinders who feel that their needs are not being met, who need help, all of them. And then also advocating for, they also perform acts of like community outreach. So there's a group that will, do all kinds of Starfinder charity stuff. We've got one coming up this year, actually. It'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk about this in just a second. I could talk with you about Starfinder Society forever, but we have so much to talk about today. But actually, that is a really great segue. If we can get the next 2 images, if you want to talk to us a little bit about some of the upcoming scenarios that people will get to play in the next few months, and some of the new friends we might meet very briefly. I do also, one other thing, we did pull a couple of questions from Twitter earlier that I will be throwing at these people, but if you have other questions, we'll have a Discord after this, but throw them in the Twitch chat as well, and if I have time, I'll ask the panelists live on air, and if not, I'll save them for later. So, Jessica, tell us about some of the upcoming scenarios.
All right, I'm going to talk fast because I want to tell you about a lot.
Yeah. I know.
Metaplot. There are 6 Metaplot scenarios this year. So while we recommend that you begin with number 5-1, each of them is its own standalone scenario, and the rest can be played in any order. So our second Metaplot scenario to release this year is number 5-5, Boomblock Gambit, which we have some art for if you want to throw it up. This is an adventure for levels 5 to 8. I don't. Yes, it should be whatever one comes up next.
Yes.
That's the one. Levels 5 to 8 by Lyle Cap. It is, as one of our inciting reforms for this season, First Taker Ahu Hadif announces the closure of the Adamantine Bastille. This is a private prison that is beneath the Lorspire complex that has long been a source of contention and discomfort to many Starfinder Society agents. So the PCs in this one are tasked with overseeing the final days of the Bastille's closure, which is when the prison's most violent and dangerous inmates are being transferred from B Block to the custody of the stewards. Prisoners like, Datch, and far, far worse. So that's this one. Yeah, I don't know. If I had an apple, I'd eat it now for you, I guess. The next one after that we will be releasing is 5-9. This is Counterfeit History. This is an adventure for levels 3 to 6 by Laterio Mamalidi. And in this one, when an archaeological expedition co-managed by the Starfinder Society and Kahadasar University, that is in the Merxa Republic, is imperiled by the Firewings gang, the Society wastes no time dispatching a pair of formidable Starfinders to save the day. Unfortunately, an ongoing internal inquiry reveals that these Starfinders are cunning criminals who've been using their missions to cover to run cons. So a second team of Starfinder agents is set to the Merxa Republic to bring these malfeasants to justice, to put an end to their schemes, and to salvage the archaeological expedition. And you are that second choice, so have fun. This is a fun mission for me in that you have 2 missions, right? Catch the corrupt Starfinders, but also complete the mission assigned to those corrupt Starfinders, which they have probably botched. That's as far as I'll go ahead on Metaplot today. But as you may have heard, this year the Starfinder Society is getting shaken up by the Drift Crisis. This is a setting-wide catastrophe in which the drift stops working. It causes a ton of problems all throughout the setting, and while the drift does stutter back to some kind of functionality, it is incredibly dangerous and travel times are greatly lengthened. The Drift Crisis hardcover book is available for sale right now, but if you don't have your hands on it, you can also check out 2 panels recorded at PaizoCon yesterday about the Drift Crisis. But this year, we have 4 Drift Crisis adventures releasing. 1 special, 3 scenarios. Each of these scenarios is a standalone adventure. Each tells a different kind of story about the Drift Crisis, and each is in a different level range. So first is our special, 499, A Time of Crisis. This is for levels 1 to 6, written by Dennis Muldoon. It dives into what happens during the Drift Crisis itself. That is, that very first day, the day that the Drift failed. So while traveling to a distant star system as part of an archaeological mission, a Starfinder Society fleet is ejected from the Drift. They crash land on an unknown world, and it is all about banding together to survive. This adventure premieres this very weekend, so get out there, play it digitally for PaizoCon or live. Otherwise, you can play it at Gen Con or other conventions throughout the year.
Correct.
5-4. Fragment of the Fourth. I have art for this one we can show. This is a high-level scenario for levels 9 to 12, written by Isis Wozniakowska, releasing next month. The PCs begin aboard the Master of Stars, flagship of the Wayfinders faction, which is trawling backward space for signs of stranded people, derelict starships, dangerous planar matter that's been ejected from the drift, and other kinds of anomalies. So our mission picks up when the Master of Stars detects an immobile starship, familiar to the Starfinder Society. This is the Chronicler, a starship captained by a priest of Triune and an ally of the Society named Accordant Contemplator 16. PCs are dispatched to investigate, but this rescue mission will lead them far beyond the corridors of the Chronicle to an annexed drift beacon and into conflict with a group worshipping something known as the Fourth. So this picture here is for Nainimi, which is one of the characters you can meet throughout this adventure. I really like them. Awesome. And we have...
Yeah, give us the other 2 titles very briefly. But I want to make sure that we have time for other stuff, so...
5-7 Plater Bloom. It is a mid-level one written by Joanne Hang. It's going to be amazing. Did I say Hang? I'm so sorry. Hong. And 514, which is a low-level one. It's coming out way near the end of the year, and I'm giving nothing further on that.
Awesome, fantastic. Thank you so much. Play that back at like half speed, and we'll get all the information. Thank you so much, Jessica. If you have more questions for her, drop into the Discord where she can tell you more about the scenarios. But we simply must move on. We have other things to talk about, and I would like now to talk to my friend and colleague, Linda Zayas Palmer, about some of our other digital adventures, because we don't just have Pathfinder and Starfinder Society. We have a number of other digital adventures. So, Linda, can you talk briefly about the different kinds of other adventures we release?
Yes, that's right. Well, Jessica already started me off by talking about the adventure that's releasing right here at PaizoCon, the interactive special for Starfinder. But we have not one but two adventures that start off, digital adventures that start off from the premise, where were you on the day that the drift crisis happened? So if you play the interactive UO special, you'll see you were just on your way to an archaeological expedition and then bam, crash land on a planet. If you want to see another story for what happens when you get hit by a rippling wave of drift stuff, we have One Shot Before the Storm that's released, playing for the first time last night, and it's going to go out to folks as a whole here in just a couple of days. And in this story, you are crash landing into another ship, and something on that ship has gone terribly wrong. And that adventure was written by Jake Tondro, who was at the time on the Starfinder team, and was very heavily involved in the adventure path. So it's a very natural start for folks who are looking for a here's where we were, and then the drift happened, and then we go and do like this other adventure path or this other story. So it ties in very well. In terms of interactive specials, we also have another one that's going to be coming up at Gen Con, which is Pathfinder Society Scenario 398, Expedition into Pallet, Peril by Rigby Bendel. This is a really classic try to find a lost city adventure that's delving into the ruins beneath a dormant volcano. And in this adventure, the Pathfinder Society thought they'd have plenty of time to get set up and take their time with it, but somebody went and told the Archivist Consortium about this site, and the Archivist Consortium wants to get to the lost city and plunder it for all of its treasures before the Pathfinders can get in there. So
that's completely unprecedented.
Yeah, I know, right? The Pathfinder Society and the Archivist Consortium being at odds. Who's ever heard of that? So you're going to have to deal with some ancient perils and some very modern Archivist agents, both, if you want to be the ones to get down there and be the first living people to set eyes on a lost city in almost 1,000 years.
Awesome, yeah, and that's taking place at the place, the Pallet Peak, where we have been a couple of times before in previous scenarios, right?
Yes, indeed. Those previous scenarios cleared the way. It was something where, the venture captain thought, oh yeah, here's just a little outpost, and then it just kept going and going and going. And it's like, well, now there's Dwergar, and now there's lava, and now there's undead, and oh, this path looks like it might be leading us to a discovery that's truly worthy of the Pathfinder Chronicles. So it's always fun to see those story leads that are picked up on from before. But with both of these specials this year, one of the goals really, and Thurston Hillman, who's the developer for these, he's not on this panel here today, but he's been really instrumental in taking a look at making sure that the specials are something that is going to be super accessible to people without having played like the whole Metaplot or being super familiar with all the stories and things like that. There's something that anybody can jump into and understand. Race for the Lost City. You're here and you've just crashed into a planet. Now survive. It's very approachable. So we recommend that if you're interested at all, that you come on and jump in and play.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Those are our interactive specials, of course. One is premiering at PaizoCon and one at Gen Con. They're great to get a bunch of tables together and be playing all at once. But we do also have some shorter adventures if you want to talk about our bounty line, Linda.
Yes, that is true. So for this month, we have bounty number 19, Grim Tidings. You might have guessed from its name that this is not a cheerful adventure. This is a bounty that involves grisly murders that have haunted a small town in Irisend. And it is up to you to figure out what's going on before you're next. Save people. So that one's just come out here. And then we have also got a bounty on the Starfinder side in July. Starfinder bounty number 4, Poacher's Prize. Thanks to the wonders of genetic engineering, an extinct species has been brought back. But the animals have now been abducted by poachers. So it's going to be up to you to track them down and to recover them before it's too late. And then in August, on the Pathfinder side, we have a bounty that very much tells a story that we couldn't really tell so easily within the society context because, well, the Auspice Consortium's back. But this time, the Auspice Consortium has heard that there's a shipment they've received that may be really dangerous. You know, maybe it's filled with hideous traps or otherwise not particularly safe. So they're going around looking for some people they can pay to take care of that whole inspection for them. So, and that eventually you were hired to take a look and hopefully to come out on the better end of that deal with the Auspice Consortium.
So what I'm hearing is that the Gen Con this year is going to be really big on Auspice all of a sudden.
Yes. So the Bounty Pathfinder 19th, the Grim Tidings, is by Kat Evans. Pathfinder 20, that one's called Burden and Blood Cove, that Auspice one, is by Dana Ebert. And then the Starfinder one, Poacher's Prize, one moment, I thought I had it up here. Yes, is by Shan Wolf.
Yes, fantastic. And I'm looking forward to those. And I want to jump slightly away from our adventures to talk with you sort of at a high level about something that we do in Pathfinder and Starfinder Society. We have this sort of currency called achievement points that people earn when they play games. And they can spend those achievement points on different boons in the stores to unlock new character options, to bring their character back from the dead if Mike's scenario is too hard and he TPKs the party. Anything like that. And the chat has teed me up very well for this question. Hillary Moon Murphy, a name familiar to many of us, asked in chat that recently she and many other people have noticed that there has been a dramatic increase in the amount of achievement points that everyone has. Was that intentional, or did we break something, Linda?
That was very much intentional. That is something that we've been talking about for a little while. We want to make sure that everybody has a chance whenever they come in, whether they've been playing for a while or they're just starting. If they say, "Hey, this ancestry is really cool. I want to play this ancestry," or these are these kind of options that I want to play, that you can just get in there and build them out and play it. To really thank everyone for participating and to make those options more accessible.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we worked with our wonderful tech team who puts up with our requests to create kind of a new player grant, right? That every account that already exists and every new account that is created will start with 80 achievement points for both programs that they can use to bring characters back or to get a shiny new ancestry and just make sure that they can realize their dreams immediately in society play.
Yes, that's right. So we are super excited to have that dropping right here at PaizoCon for all of you.
Yes, absolutely. We'll have a blog about this soon and talk about these things. But we wanted to let you know now. So thank you so much, Linda. I think we touched on most of the things that we wanted to talk about for the moment. And so now, before we go to the Q&A at the end, I guess I should talk to Mike. I don't know.
Talk to
Mike.
Mike.
You're the Pathfinder Society developer. Is there anything new or exciting that we should know about Pathfinder Society lately? Do you know what's happening in year 4 that you want to share with us, maybe?
Finally. Well, I've been waiting for this for a long time. So Pathfinder Society Year 4 will be launching at Gen Con this year. And I have been the developer throughout the year of Shattered Sanctuaries, but that was originally conceived by our Pathfinder Society developer, Thurston Hillman. So while it has been a joy and a pleasure to work on year 3, year 4 will be the first one that I sort of built from the ground up myself. And this was quite a task, right? Stepping in to fill the shoes and plan out an entire season of organized play. So when I was originally planning what year 4, what the theme would be, I looked back and thought about where we had been before. And Linda has heard this 3 times. So I'm sorry, Linda, but you get to hear it again. So year 1, I thought of as spring. I started to think of the seasons of Pathfinder Society as real world seasons throughout the year. So year 1, year of the open road, of course, new beginnings and rebirth. So I thought a lot about, well, that's like spring. Year 2, year of corruption's reach, thus would be summer. It was a grand adventure, big, exciting expedition into a distant land, lots of fire too. And so naturally, year 3, Year of Shattered Sanctuaries, was autumn, a time of reflection on the past, preparing for things to come, and kind of being in that sort of self-reflective state on the past of the society, and trying to figure out how to clean up problems around the lodges, and reflecting on things the society had done and how it might do different things in the future. So naturally, year 4 would then be winter. And the original way I was thinking about it was that, of course, winter is a time of darkness and loss and despair and regrets and cold. And I decided I didn't want to quite head in that direction. Winter is also a time of coming together with family and of hope and light and celebration and gifts and shiny things in many cultures. And so I would like to announce that Pathfinder Society Year 4 is going to be the year of boundless wonder. And I think we have some cool art we could share. So here is the symbol for the year of boundless wonder. And we will be looking at the exciting stories in year 4 of this trove of magical relics that the Pathfinder Society will come across in the dramatic conclusion to year 3. And the society will suddenly have this treasure trove of interesting artifacts, intelligent items, intelligent creatures, mysteries that they need to solve. And it'll be up to the society to decide, what do we do with these items? What are their powers? Where did they come from? Who created them? And who is this very sinister, evil person coming from the society's past who also wants these items for nefarious reasons? And what is their plot? And how do we stop them? So let's take a look at, I think we have some cover art to share as well that might give you a little bit of the vibe we're going for with this season. You may recognize a character from the society's past here on the cover. Zarta Dralneen, the Grand Archivist herself, who has been tasked with sort of leading the charge here with this trove of wondrous things. And who's that in the background? Is that Rain and Cloudy Day that I spot chatting with? What is that? Is that a weird glowing skull thing? What is that? Who is that? What does that do? I hope you're as excited as I am to find out, because I have some very awesome authors telling some very exciting stories. And I hope you are as excited as I am for the year of boundless wonder.
Absolutely. I am super excited, Mike. How does it feel to say that out loud on stream for the first time? Does it feel good to finally not be holding on to that secret?
Yes, because every conversation I have about year 4, for the last 6 months, it's the year of redacted nonsense. So now I can actually say it to everybody and not worry about it. So it feels very good to finally announce this. I've been working very hard. We have several authors who've been working very hard. Lots of contributions from the rest of the team here at Paizo and various brainstorming meetings, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited for this year of Boundless Wonder. We're going to be launching it with 3 scenarios at Gen Con this year that we'll be launching at the beginning of August. But Mike, you're talking about this treasure trove that the society is going to stumble across at the end of the year, and I certainly don't want to know how they stumble across it. But can you give us a teaser for any of the things that might be in that treasure trove? Because it sounds like there's some cool stuff in it.
Yes. There is, let's see, a couple of our early Metaplot scenarios will feature a magical dagger that is somehow pointing to something hidden, buried in the remote deserts of Thuvia, something or someone. And so we're going to have to go see what that is before our nefarious foe gets there first. We have another object that is very talkative, and Rain and Cloudy Day is having an interesting conversation with that object, which may or may not actually be a creature or person of some kind, who has a lot to say and likes to fling around some hilarious puns and insults as well. At least the author has given me lots to work with on that front. We'll put it that way. So it's going to be glorious. And we get to find out who they are and what their story is in one of the early scenarios.
So there's a very important question from chat, actually, before you tell us more spoilers about Treasure. Kitsune Warlock would like to know what the purple drink in the chalice tastes like.
Ah, yes. Well, you'll have to find out. I wonder if there will be any consequences for drinking or not drinking the weird stuff that's in the weird chalice that is on the cover art there that Zarta is holding, and is also the symbol for the entire season.
Impossible to say. I suppose we will have to find out.
I don't know. Gosh,
I
whoever
look
would
reporting conditions on that scenario. So a question that I pulled from Twitter as well that I'm adapting slightly a little bit, so sorry, friend. At Noland Void, Noel as in the creature, which I think is a very good name. Noel and Void would like to know, and sort of, we've talked about the new factions for Starfinder Society, and Noel and Void would like to know if there are any shakeups in the factions, any new ones coming, anybody looking for a spell, or sort of what their kind of view on this treasure hoard is.
We are very interested this year in looking at what the different factions want to do with these items, right? We obviously have factions who, the Vigilant Seal is very interested in making sure that none of these items are going to explode in the society's face. And with a nefarious enemy also looking for these items, it's very important that not only we find out what they're for, but that we keep them out of this individual's hands. But there's other factions who might want to, pursue grand stories, right, and go off and do horizon hunting type things, and use the items perhaps for glorious deeds and to help the world, right? And so we won't see any new factions right away at the beginning of the season. I do have some longer term plans to develop here. So same factions here at the beginning of the season, but they will be featuring much more heavily than they did in year 3, which was lots of stories about the lodges as the sort of center focus. We're going to take the factions and make sure that what they have to say about these items is more of a center focus than it has been for year 3.
Awesome. Well, I love that. Well, definitely look out for the year of Boundless Wonder coming soon to conventions and game stores and scenarios near you. It's very exciting. I want to take some time here and take a few questions that came from the fan community ahead of time. And if you have other questions, like I said, drop them in the chat or catch us on Discord afterwards. But I have a question for Jessica about Starfinder Society, to give Mike a break. At Wollaberry on Twitter asks if we're going back to Salvation's End, and what the status of Sparklemane might be, if she was recycled, if she's working for the Vault Lord now. So will we see more of Salvation's End in year 5?
Yeah, I can confirm we are going back to Salvation's End in the Year of Redemption Rise. That will be in number 510, Shadow of the Vault Lord. It is an Adventures for level 9 to 12 written by Matt Duvall. In this one, you are playing as an elite group of Starfinders called Salvation's End to convince residents of a vault that they need to evacuate. But they've already fought off the Vault Lord, and they're not scared at all. So please, no. So you're tending to try to convince them before it's too late. But meanwhile, the Vault Lord's plans for conquest are kind of moving into the next phase. And it's going to be a fun one. As to the state of Sparklemane, I can tell you she is not in 510. But I can also say I adore Sparklemane. So I have not forgotten they exist.
Fantastic. So maybe seeing Sparklemane at some point in the future, perhaps. that. Let's see. I'm going to throw this one to Linda because it's kind of about both programs and sort of our other adventures as well. At Gymtopia on Twitter would like to know if we're going to see more high-level scenarios this season at all. Meaning 12 plus, but I guess high level is in the eye of the beholder. So.
Yes, we are going to be seeing some more high-level scenarios this season. We've got a 9 to 12 coming up on the Pathfinder Society side, and we have an 11 to 14 scheduled for this season for Starfinder as well.
Very exciting. And 11 to 14, we've had a couple of those, right? That's not the first one, right?
I don't think it's our very first, but it's definitely one of the first.
Absolutely. So yeah, definitely some high level content coming out to all of you all. Let me throw this one at all three of you actually. Let's see. To
be a little more specific, we've got so that the Vault Lord one is a high level one, and then we've got one in March is going to be our 11 to 14 for Starfinder.
Awesome. Let's see, at Madcap Science on Twitter, and I'll start with Mike, and then we can go down the line. What is one of your favorite plot lines in organized play that we've done so far, or maybe that we haven't done so far? I don't know if you want to tell us about something new that's coming, but what's one of your favorite plot lines that you really enjoy? I'll start with Mike.
It's an ongoing plot line that I'm very proud of, and it's the Metaplot arc taking place in Kadira. It's Foundation's Price and Fury's Toll. Is kind of a two-part arc that we had, which has started the story of an interesting genie and genie binder in the city of Sedek, which was kind of one of my first major contributions to the metaplot, and thus I was nervous about it, right? Very apprehensive about how it would be received, and it seems to have been received very well, which is very, very pleasing, and people are loving the characters and interested in what happens next for them. So we'll be seeing what that is hopefully soon.
Awesome. Jessica, share with us some of your favorites.
My favorite adventures tend to be the biggest, the wildest, the goofiest ones. So I really like the Salvation's End series. Anything with Strawberry Machine Cake and Zoe always makes me laugh. For big storylines for Starfinder, I'm a huge fan of the Scoured Stars one. I look forward to having a chance to revisit the Scoured Stars systems in the future. For Pathfinder scenarios, I love anything with Dolok Darkfur or King Zesket. I really liked the Mysteries Under Moonlight series too, from near the end of first edition Society. It was lots of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see Strawberry Machine Cake again. Can we get them in a scenario soon?
You know what? I think I can do that. Okay. We have a mini story going on that I will quickly touch on. It is the Tarnished Legacy. It is a 2-part arc beginning with 5-6 Tarnished Legacy Historia's Holdout by Hilary Moon Murphy. It's an adventures for levels 1 to 4. And in this one, you kind of we have discovered a complex that used to belong to Historia Prime on Absalom Station, and you get to go in, figure out what the heck is going on, and we assume something bad, so shut it the heck down. And then after this one, we take that place and we renovate it into a big performance hall. So in 5-8, it's Tarnished Legacy Star Sugar Superstar. This is for levels 1 to 4 by Emily Parks, and it is a giant Battle of the Bands. So Absalom Station becomes like a hot spot for Drift Crisis refugees. So the advocates decide to organize a music competition to entertain all the dispirited populace. And it is hosted in that complex. So welcome to Star Sugar Superstar. It is a fast-paced battle of the bands sure to excite lovers of all musical genres, expertly judged by celebrity musicians like Abysshead, Strawberry Machine Cake, and Lita Starr. And the winners of Star Sugar Superstar earn bragging rights to be opening billing at the Drift Crisis Review, which is a weekend-long music festival to raise funds for everybody who's stuck there having a bad time because of the Drift Crisis. So in this mission, your Starfinder's tasked with ensuring that Star Sugar Superstar goes off without a hitch. And you get to manage the renovated theater, handle crowds and obsessive fans, tame raging egos, all that kind of stuff. Mingle with Strawberry Machine Cake. It is a killer competition, and I am so excited for it. It's going to be lots of fun.
I've decided that this is now my favorite plot line to answer that question. Before we sign off here, I will throw it to Linda. What are some of your favorite plot lines, whether future or past?
Oh my goodness. I have run so many scenarios. It's really hard to pick a favorite. I think that I really get most excited by stories that have a lot of different pieces to them, where there's parts where you fight, there's parts where you talk, and there's really an opportunity to get into interesting NPCs. So, one of the ones that I finally got to GM for like the first time in forever recently, and I got to run No Time for Treason, and I had a lot of fun with that as an investigation that's got like all sorts of interesting and fun NPCs in it in different creative ways that people can approach it. But I have fun with a lot of scenarios, but I like those ones that have that mix.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm so excited about both of the new seasons. Like like every time I hear another idea every time I get another line from like Jessica or Mike, I'm just like, this is the thing I'm excited about. Now this is the thing I'm excited about. So like you all are really in for a treat this year. They are on fire with their ideas.
Absolutely. Building product pages is one of the joys of my work, because I get to go in and I get to see the new scenarios, and then I get to share this with everyone. It's super awesome. I'm very excited for the year of Boundless Wonder, for the year of Redemption's Rise. We certainly hope all our players are as well. We are coming up on our time here, unfortunately, for the panels. So we're going to have to sign off shortly. Remember that we're going to be on the Paizo Events Discord server at paizo.events after this for an hour to answer more of your questions. So if you asked a question we didn't answer, head over there and ask us the questions. If we've inspired more questions, definitely head over there and, ask us. And, we'll probably be very cavalier with spoilers. I will, I'll spoil things for Jessica and Mike. They haven't allowed me. I'm going to do it anyway. Join us.
No, right?
Yeah, who's going to stop me? Join us over there in the hour following the panel. Join us tonight for our Starfinder Society interactive special. You can follow us on the Twitters, on the internets. Those of us who have the Twitters, you can follow Paizo Organized Play at PaizoOrgPlay on Twitter. And I think that's all the places to find us. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining us for this organized play panel. Gang, anything else we want to share before we sign off, or shall we say goodbye and hop over to Discord?
Thanks for coming, everyone. It's been a lot of fun working on these stories, and I can't wait to see everyone play them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a good year. We can't wait for you all to see what's coming in 2022. But with that, I think the organized play team will sign off of the stream. We will head over to the Discord room, and we will see you all there in just a few minutes after we get up and stretch. So thank you all so much. Enjoy the rest of PaizoCon.
Bye-bye.